Morning, this is Grace. I'm one of the trainers here at Synergy Behavior Solutions, and I wanted to work with cats this morning. Um, oh, there is a pop-up. Okay, let's get rid of the pop-up. So I do a lot of cat training with our behavior kitties, and I wanted to talk a little bit about food reinforcers since that is our topic for the week. Um, let's see. I wanted to do a little bit of recipe stuff, and I'm gonna go get some stuff for recipes. So cats are interesting. They're very different from dogs in a lot of different ways. And a lot of people have this notion that cats are not food motivated in terms of you can't use a food to do training or to get them to do something that you want them to do. So I'm here to dispel that myth. And one of the things that I want to start, I feel like I'm doing a cooking show, and I kind of am. So let's see. I wanted to show you, first of all, that cats eat little things. So this is just, little cat treats. And I want to show you what I mean by little. So these come like this, little fish-shaped treats, and I'm actually going to, oh, here comes Evie. I'm going to cut these not in half, not in quarter, but in six, like that. So they are literally the size, they're smaller than my pinky nail, and I have really small pinkies. So these are some of the treats that I've prepared ahead of time. If you give them one whole of these treats, then first of all, they fill up really quickly. So there are only so many repetitions that you can get in a training session. And also they're filled with calories. So you tend to get a bigger kitty unless you use their regular kibble or their what is it? Or reduce their regular intake by however much you're giving them in treats. So you can also use their regular kibble for treats, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I also wanted to show you her regular wet food, and she likes it watered down actually, just because it's already a pate, and then she likes it watered down even more. So again, that's a way of getting a lot of reinforcement for fewer calories. And I actually help to desensitize some of my kitties by putting it in a syringe and using that to feed sometimes, because that will also help desensitize them to medications that you might want to give them later. So right now we have a couple different options for treats. We have her regular wet food in a syringe and a little bit watered down. We have, hi Mallory. We have the little hard treats, because there are some kitties who only like hard treats, but they're cut up into teeny beany um, little itty bitty bite-sized pieces. And I'm also getting, you can buy these in little steaks. This is tuna. But again, breaking these up into little pieces so that they're all ready. So right now what we've got going is the beginning of a treat bar. And you can use these to test which one might be higher value, lower value. And using that, you can also get a sense of what you need to use on a regular basis for some of the easier behaviors, as well as what you might want to bring as a smorgasbord to your vet's office or someplace that's a little bit higher stress. So we have our little, where is it? Our little treat buffet. Oh. And I'm going to use this to work with Evie a little bit. Let's see. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Since this is a laptop, I'm going to move my treats over to that side. Evie is already eating out of her regular bowl. She has a little bit, you see her? She's adorable, isn't she? She's already eating out of her regular bowl, but the bowl is set up on top of a console, and also put out uh, on, so she has several bowls that we put out in different areas of the house. So that's actually one of the biggest things about cats is that they've developed evolutionarily to eat multiple small meals a day. Um, so giving them a big meal twice a day or once a day is actually not conducive to how they are supposed to eat as a species. And it can actually lead to a lot of other issues. But the most important thing is we want to do something that's going to keep, especially our indoor cats, active, get them to do species specific behavior that is good for their mental stimulation and also getting some exercise when they're home alone all day while we're working, when people actually work outside of the home. So you can see that even her regular bowl is up there, and she has to jump up onto the console and get treats or get her regular kibble that way. So now I'm going to bring you down a little bit to the floor, and I want to show you a couple things. So Evie's already started playing with this. This is something that I made. Can you see that? This is something that I made out of a greeting card box that I used for different birthdays and holidays. And it's nice because you can use toilet paper rolls that you cut up into, you can just cut them up like this and make it super simple. But I also like to give some of them a little bit of texture, a little bit of shiny color. This is just tape that you can buy at any craft store. And then these little pom-poms that can roll around different places. I also got a gift of hamburger socks, and I thought that this was cute. So we can also put stuff in here and have them dig around and forage in there as well. So this is something that, yeah, hi, cutie. I know you can't see her yet, but this is something that we can use, if you can still hear me. This is something that we can use to give her treats and also get her mentally stimulated. So I'm going to take a little bit of her, hold on. Did she finish anything here? No, not yet. Okay, take a little bit of her regular kibble and throw them in here. And she already ate a little bit, but here, what's that? And sometimes you might have to actually get them interested. Yeah, what's that? Huh? What's that? Okay, Evie is just, come here. Good girl. She's very pet motivated. Here we go. Hi, kitty. All right. So, here, what's that? What's that? So you can see that by itself, she wasn't so motivated by the actual food because she had just eaten. But one of the things that you can do to get them motivated to take more treats is, yeah, is actually using play. So what I love is for a lot of our dog people, we like to use the get it game, and we use that to get our dogs out of situations. What I like to do with cats is I like to use the get it game to get them into situations. So here. So that's one of the ways that you can get them a little bit more food motivated, is not just using the food itself and how much they like the actual treat and the taste, but using it almost like how they would chase an insect in the wild, and flicking it around. So get it. Are you going to be interested in that? Yeah. So even though she wasn't hungry and wasn't going for some of the treats that were in her play box, she is going for these. Get it? Because suddenly she's really interested in the movement. So that's another thing about cats is they're built to notice movement. Here, ready? Get it. Okay, maybe not right now. Want to try again? Get it. So this is something that you can use to help them get a little bit more exercise, um, and get them doing things like tricks. So I'm not sure, she's already eaten quite a bit, so I'm not sure how motivated she's going to be to train right now. But let's see. Let's see if she will. Okay, so I'm going to put my leg out. And this is something that we had been working on here. This is something that we had been working on for a little while. Hey, Evie. Evie. Hi, that motion got your attention, didn't it? Okay, ready? Here. Ready? It's like, maybe not. Maybe. Oh, come here. So Evie is actually very affection motivated, which is actually how I get her to eat some of the treats. So if I give her a little bit of play, yeah, no, okay, she's being very cat-like right now in terms of, and you can tell why it's hard to uh, to do stuff with a cat because their meals really are supposed to be tiny, and a lot of times they are. So if you don't break up their meals and don't break up their treats into little bitty pieces, then, like you just saw with Evie, they fill up really quickly. A couple other things that I just want to touch on is, uh, let's see. So some things that you can try for, is putting their bowls in different places. So one of the places that I like to put things is uh, around jungle, like here, you can see it better that way. Around, oops, I'm terrible at this like reverse Facebook thing. Is around, um, what is it? Plants, so that they get the sense of being in a jungle and being able to hide and pounce on things. Another thing that I like to do is put it by areas where they're getting enrichment. So I know it's backlit, but Evie really likes this windowsill, and she loves looking at the birds and the squirrels and all the little creatures that are out there. And she gets aroused, so that's her tail moving, showing that that she's a little bit aroused by all of the things that she's seeing outside. And so what I like to do is make sure that here, make of being able to stalk and hunt and catch and then be able to eat. So it again lets them be very, engage in things that are that cats are meant to do. One of the other things that I want to talk about today um, is a lot of times cats will also be more motivated to eat if you, first of all, aren't free feeding them, but also if you use that cycle to, excuse me, to to help motivate them. So if you play with them, so using wand toys and all of that, if you play with them or let them do some of that chase behavior, the stalking and the hunting and the chase and then the catch, and then as soon as you let them catch their toy, throw a treat in there so that they're actually landing on something and then consuming something, that will also help them to become a little bit more treat motivated or food motivated. And I use that a lot with her regular kibble and really save a lot of the treats for for training and more high pressure or higher stress situations. So any questions about our kitties? Let's see. Hi, Mallory. We said hi earlier. Hi, Natalia. Janet, your senior cat will sometimes only eat if you spoon feed him. Oh, yeah. So a lot of cats really are motivated by attention and affection. That's really true. Evie used to not be like that when she was younger, but in the last few months, she really likes it when I hold her on a chair and then feed her from her bowl, or take little kibble out of her bowl and hand feed her like that as well. And actually, last night she was eating out of her bowl, but she didn't want to continue eating unless I came over and pet her. And as soon as I stopped petting her, she would stop eating and look at me like, hello, I want all the loves. So yeah, cats are funny that way. When they're affectionate, they're super affectionate. One other thing that I want to also mention is cats have core resources, and some of them are obviously shelter, but their food, their water, their litter box. And those are all things that we often sort of like to group together in a single cat area, or split up between the food and the water and the litter. But cats, again, are in the wild. They're supposed to actually have their water source away from where they eat, because if they eat and they don't finish, then that starts to decompose and possibly contaminate their water source. So they like to take their prey and eat it somewhere else. And then they also like to eliminate in a place that's, again, not going to contaminate their food or their water. So if that's something that you can move around in your house, then that's something else that will really help with them being comfortable with all the different resources that they have. So it can help to relieve some of the anxiety that they might have around litter box issues, or around not drinking enough, or around being having some distaste for food. Um, and all of those things should also be separate from the resting area, because again, they don't want predators coming to a safe area where they're resting throughout the day. And water elimination, the smell from elimination, and the smell of food that's been left over are things that can attract other predators. So, any other questions for today? No? Okay, so if you have any questions, then put them into the chat and we'll come back and help answer some of these for you. I hope that this was helpful for some of the people who either have cats or work with cats, or like me, Evie is actually not my cat, but my god cat. So she's a friend of mine's cat, and I come and hang out with her all the time whenever my friend is out of town. So, yeah, so whether you have a god cat, these are some of the things that I hope will help you help your cat be a little bit more food motivated. Like the description of today's live said, if a cat eats, then they are food motivated. But sometimes you can use other motivations, non-food reinforcers, to get them more interested in the food. So I hope that was helpful. It was good to see everybody at here in live land, and I hope to see all of you at Synergy. We do offer a lot of resources for cats. We do behavior health assessments if your cat is having behavior issues, and we also do some training that can help with inter-cat aggression or litter box or other behavioral issues, uh, human-directed aggression. So if you need kitty help, then let us know, reach out to us. You can get information about our services at synergybehavior.com. So synergybehavior.com, or you can use Facebook to reach out to us. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you next time.